Welcome back to Spekd, and this is a near continuation from the last video that we have just done. So we just finished up Warhammer Conquest issue number 41. This is issue number 42, and it's the second half of the Bright Crawler. It's still $7.99, and that's the second part. So again, let's open this up, let's have a look and go from there. Okay, so here's a sprue, the second sprue there. And 2017 branding. I mean, like, if there was any kind of chip marks on this, I would not be able to tell because it's a Nurgle kind of model. I'm expecting that anyway. See the weaponry there? Nice. And we can now combine that with our previous sprue. It's nice and chunky looking. I mean, look at that. Just that the brand there looks just chunky. I'm looking forward to building that. So now we have both sprues, and we've got instructions from both magazines. This is ready to build. So moving on, let's go on with the magazine. Okay, so we've got on the front here Australia and New Zealand. They're right there, which is great. I'm still waiting for the US to turn up. You know what? Shadowsphere isn't in coloured plastic. I don't know if they will do a version which is easy fit. That would be a tell sign. But I don't know the way how they're going. I don't know if the States will ever see this. I really don't know. So for those of you stateside, hit eBay. You will find a lot of items on there. And you know what? Treat yourself. You get the magazine, you get the information, and you get the model. And it seems to me to be a lot cheaper. So, you know, if it doesn't turn up, at least you've got to start. So this issue, we have a lot of lore there, so excuse me, which is really good. We have the painting guide now. You know how I work. I tend to work close to the guide and then kind of hit 11 with it. The continuation of the campaign. So use this campaign map to track your victories in the Mechanica city of Kalon. This is looking good. It's definitely campaign. I was looking at the Vigilus book, and this is what this reminds me of, how Games Workshop seem to be emphasising the campaigns for 40k. Normally it's the thing for Age of Sigmar, so to see it for this is really good. And seeing if this is you just starting, this is brilliant to get used to. Campaigns are so much fun. You know, you develop friends, you got a group, you keep going back. Yes, one or two people will fall away, but you always have someone sub in for them. Plagueburst Crawler there, data sheet. So Ages of Mankind. So we're getting to see the Imperium from the beginning. See its growth there, a little bit of history. It says it existed for over 10,000 years. But humanity is far older. Yes. My little one said to me the other day, what's that number? You know, she was trying to read 40,000. I said, you know, that's 40,000. I said, that's your great, etc. Grandchild might be alive during that time. I thought this is set so far in the future. Damage. Okay. Repair it. The pain. Okay. I'll fix that, don't worry. The Eye of Terror. And it's interesting how they changed the colour of the Eye of Terror. It used to be like more of an orangey colour, and now it's this kind of purple colour. Almost like it's living or changing, growing. So that explains what the Heretic Astartes are and who they are, which is really good to see. A Garden of Nurgle. So now we're looking at the Dream Made Manifest of Disease and Rancidity and Efflua. So we're looking at everything that's gross, that crawls, that slithers, that slimes. And you're getting to know more about it. And it's a realm dedicated to that. So the whole Death Guard is pretty much powered by the creatures from that realm. That's just a short way of saying it. But as you read the lore and the history, you get to know more. So these little sections here, these little battles, if you and your friend have the particular armies that they make mention, you could actually play like a historical wargaming event So it's not exactly based in history, but it is a history of the universe. So think of it like that, and you could have a lot of fun. And that will obviously give you a way to switch around who's playing and who's playing which army. It's very much like Horus Heresy is a way that I look at the 30k rather than 40k. I look at it more like historical because we know the events, we know the effects, but those small battles don't change the end result of the war. Unless you're doing your own campaign, you decide what you want. Okay, so painting our Plagueburst Crawler. So it's good to see they've actually highlighted all the colours they're going to use. So you could just snatch those pots up and bring them together rather than bringing a lot. You know what I tend to do. So start off with a base of green. That's fair, I would say, for this particular model, unless you're going for one of the other Death Guard kind of Legion styles. Get your lead belcher done. That's fine. It's looking good. Retributor armor, Rakar flesh, Bugman's glow, and they've kept to that painting inside the seams first, which I'm very happy to see. Then we got our shades, our camo shade, Rekland flesh shade, Null and Agrax earth shade. So that works out really well to tarnish golds. But I would still tarnish that further, have it like eroded. So we've got the Liberator Gold, and they're adding that in. Now, Liberator Gold touches just the edges and will make it look bright. But if you add Stormhost Silver to that right at the tips, it will make it stand out from a distance. And I've mentioned this before, but it's well worth doing. Otherwise, it just kind of blends in and you don't really see that transition. Up close you will, guaranteed, but at a distance, you won't see it. And you could almost see that there. See, now these should be sharp and pointy and like really menacing, but they've just kind of blended back. That's just the nature of miniature models. The closer you are, the more detail you can pick out, and the further away you really want it to pop. And if you're standing at a table, you don't want to be bending your back over, breaking your back for like 2-3 hours just trying to look at models up close. You want to see what they can do from a distance. So, you know, stick to popping by extreme highlights, and it works really well. But again, it's up to you. So this is the history of the Mechanicus city there. And what I really like is you've got a map to work out who's taken over what. I wonder if they're going to bring all these together in the end and say, you know, who's won X amount of maps, and if you've won X amount of maps, you win the campaign. So here's a mission briefing overall. So the Plagueburst Crawler is going into the city, and everybody's panicking. Yes, yes. Alright. So siege of the city. So we have the Plagueburst Crawler is finally get to hit the map for the first time. Mephitic Blight Hauler, 2 units of 3 Plague Marines, Lord Felfius and 12 Pox Walkers. Now if you remember before, Lord Felfius in this storyline had been taken out by the Captain and Gravis armor. But clearly Nurgle's brought him back. He has more work to do. Space Marines, we have 3 Hellblasters, Redemptor Dreadnought, 5 Intercessors, Primaris Captain, and 3 Aggressors. Yeah, I'm going to give that to Death Guard. Yeah, I'm definitely going to give that to Death Guard. Because that tank is so resistant, and if you're overcharging with the Hellblasters, you might get a few wounds on it, but it's got disgustingly resilient. So we've got the rules here. We've got the mortar, so we can see it at distance, and the Plagueburst mortar with sight and without sight. The range, we've got the cannon, entropy, we've got a wounds chart. So this is the grading, so as you get damaged, just to remind the guys which are new to Conquest, if you haven't seen vehicles with the graded stats, as the wounds go down for the vehicle, its movement reduces, its ballistic skill reduces, and its strength also reduces. Some models vary in what they reduce, but overall it's roughly the same. So yeah, okay. So that's the data sheet. Now this magazine got stuck a bit rough. Okay, there's our information guidance, and let's have a look on what's next. So we have our thermic plasma regulators to go with our piping that we did before, and we have a refill of paints. Oh, I don't know about that. Don't know. I want more models. Getting greedy. But then again, technically, we only just got 1 tank, and issue 40 was paints. Issue 41 was half a tank. Issue 42 is completion of that. Issue 43, some terrain, and issue 44, we're looking at, you know, paints again. So it's 5 paints, 1 tank, 1 set of terrain. Well, you know, normally the later half they tend to do better. But look, let me not ramble on. Overall, that issue was fairly good. It's a completion to the first half, and that's really what it was about. The painting guide, the building instructions. We got a little bit more lore and history in there, and that was nice to see. Overall, I don't know. I would probably give that a 7 or 10, but I don't do ratings like that anymore. Anyway, this has been Spekd. I've enjoyed my time. I hope you've enjoyed yours. And I hope, again, if you're new to here, you've subscribed, because, you know, it's free. This is $7.99, but subscribing is free. Okay? Take care. Have a good day. And PC out. Well, that's the tank together. And I'm very happy with how it looks and what it's about right now. I will paint it at a later point, and it'll probably be seen in the community post, or it'll be in the background of the video at some point.